Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called Petrichor by developer Sunday Month. It's a little one-button ambient adventure platformer with some really beautiful art style and great audio design. And I'm just going to read the little blurb that the developers posted up on the website. I think it probably sets the scene a lot better than I could anyway. So Petrichor is the smell of rain. You wander the forest, breathe in the damp air. Eternal rain leaving puddles, you light a fire under a ledge to stay warm. In your pocket is a damp note you found in the mud. Remember the sound of now, Delta. You tightly grip the handle of your umbrella as you toss the note into the fire. It turns to ash and its fragments rise into the air. The path calls you back. So that sort of sets, I think, the tone here. We're going to be wandering around in a very damp forest with some interesting things going on in it, and little by little we'll gain abilities which will allow us to find new things, and slowly but surely we'll make our way towards something, and I'm not sure exactly what, because I haven't actually finished this one yet. I've only played a few moments, so let's click and see what happens. So I think the important thing to consider here is that this is a very simplistic game, and there's not a lot going on in terms of complexity. Right away, we'll start out with just one movement here, and it says right-click. It does a very good job of tutorializing all of the things we need to do. So we'll be able to click, and then left-click to walk, and that umbrella, by the way, is what's saving us from turning into dust by walking under the water. I'm not sure exactly why the water kills us in this case, but, it doesn't sort of kill us. It sort of causes us to dematerialize and then rematerialize away from it. So there could be an element here of fantasy that I'm not entirely sure about yet. Noticing in the background also we've got some rock formations that kind of look a little bit like speakers. I'm going to say that's probably the case that they are intended to look that way. So we found our first note in this puddle, and then we find this crevasse which we are not able to traverse. So let's go back over to the fire. As you would imagine, the character here sort of placed emphasis on the fact that the note was wet and soggy. So we're going to sit down by the fire and take a moment to dry it out, and then that will reveal some information to us, like the fact that we can now jump. So these are our power-ups, essentially, and then the little bonfires here are sort of our beacons that we use to pick up on this information and then assimilate it. So it's kind of like representative of the fact that we're taking a day to, like, think about things or something to that effect. Some really subtle, beautiful sounds happening in the background. Hopefully I've got this loud enough. It's one of those games that's a little bit tricky to get the audio levels just right with, considering it seems to kind of zone in and out of its audio emphasis at times. So we've got another thing to jump over, and we've also got another note here. And another bonfire back here that we can sit down by to read it and hopefully learn some new information. So let's click that. Click the note, and the note reveals that we can now mantle up onto ledges, so we'll be doing some of that then. That tree in the background also is really, it gives you a good sense of scale. I feel like I want to kind of climb around on it. Unfortunately, it is in fact in the background, and a lot of the time in games like this I have trouble differentiating between foreground and background because they don't tend to leave enough room in terms of contrast. This game, I don't have that issue, really. For whatever reason, it's just sort of obvious which things are traversable and which aren't. Maybe it has to do with the fact that there's such minimal interaction. As a player, all I'm really able to do here is click on things once, and that's really it. So that does quite a bit to help out, actually, since, you can kind of formulate in your head what things are more accessible based on that latitude that they've given you. So there seems to be a zip line or something here which we can't interact with, but I did get another note, so we're going to head back down here, and we're going to click on that and sit down and read the note, and we're presented with, looks like we're using the opposite end of our umbrella to pull down on a chain, which I just noticed there was a chain right over here, so we're going to go try that out. Those are subtle effects, too, the rain hitting all the ground in different places. The fact that even the icons that are used to signify what we can click on have that little bit of, like moss growing on them. There's like little shadows through here. The landscape is very well modeled, and then we come across whatever this is. The first hint that maybe there's something a bit more going on that is a bit out of our control and maybe a bit fantasy as well. Now, it mentioned prior delta, which, you know, in science, they use that to signify the variable for change. When you're trying to talk about the change in something, you use, you know, delta as that. And I think entropy and change and the fact that this bonfire even sort of signifies a little bit of a delta, that definitely seems significant to me since we're dealing with such a theme of nature. Now, when we turn the delta upside down, though, that's where you kind of lost me a little bit, and I'm not sure that maybe I understand the significance there, but maybe that'll become clear as we play on a little bit further. So we can toggle those water flows through there, and we seem to be presented with a mushroom with a sort of a glowing log sitting on top, and the mushroom's actually just vibrating very gently, which gives it a feeling of life. And then we've got some clouds that just seem to be hanging in the air there, so we'll see if we can interact with those in some way in a moment. I've also got another chain here. Let's probably pull on that. It causes a geyser to rise up, and we'll jump across. Doesn't seem like we're able to go down into that pit, but why would we want to anyway? And we continue over, and it seems like all of a sudden there's a lot of landscape here that we can traverse. We'll climb up onto this. And our character's becoming awfully dexterous. I had no idea she would be able to do all this stuff. Oh, what is this? Is there a giant number 7 etched into this? I wonder why. Alright, let's grab another note. Now, these fires are not lit, so I'm going to presume probably later on we'll be able to do something with those. So for now, they're, you know, checkpoints in the making. Let's head back across, and the last bonfire, I think, was right over here. Or by over here, I mean one more expanse across. There we are. Oh, look at the background, too. I didn't even realize at first, actually, that the light was being cast from the bonfire over to the cliff face in the background. Or the rock outcropping, rather. Alright, so this is probably one of the more subtle ones that I've seen. It says click, click, and it sort of looks like she's scampering a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that probably has to do with running. Let's stand up. Okay, that is what it is. So we double-click, and it causes us to dash. And I guess now we can start grabbing those logs, and the idea being maybe we'll use those to create a fire. So if I walk on these clouds, yeah, they're going to break apart. So let's click, click, grab that. Put it in our pocket. Not sure where she's got the storage space for it, but, you know, I guess, video games. Can't really run on clouds either, so it would be a little silly to nitpick. I love the background, too. That little bit of lavender on the treescape is really nice. It puts us in this really great place where it's like, it's there, it's colorful, you're interested in the fact that it's there, but at the same time, it's also very passive. You don't really have to pay much attention to the background, but when you do want to, it's like this lovely little color accentuation, and everything's got such great earthen tones, too. I actually meant to mantle down on that. So I presume with those 2 bits of wood, hopefully I should be able to start the fire over there. I'm not sure how exactly, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And now we can run to cross this expanse a little bit more quickly, which is a really smart idea, considering not 100% sure if that was intended to make this seem like a less big area, but that is what it did, and I'm thankful for it, because it could be a little annoying if you had to run back and forth a bunch of times without being able to run at all. So I don't get the impression that I'm doing the right thing, because clicking on this fire is not giving me any options. I guess that wood doesn't actually do that, or there's something else I need to do first, and I'm not sure how. So let's head back in the direction of... Oh, right, the floating island had another bit of wood on it, so maybe that's what I need to go over and approach. Not sure quite how I'll do it, but maybe there's another way that I haven't discovered yet. Maybe there's a chain I have to pull on that'll cause something to rise or lower. Okay, so let's cross this. How would I reach you? Oh, there's still this fire here that didn't have anything happening either. Nope. So that's not it either. Let's go a little further. What if we sit down here? Maybe there's an option for logs? Oh, I had another note that I forgot about. Okay, so it looks like I can light my hand. Oh, that's my mistake. For some reason, I just didn't even think about that. So now I should be able to light those. And I guess the logs are going to be like a long-term goal. So let's stand back up again. I don't think I can do anything with the zip line still. Bit of a curious thing I noticed too, and this is not like a big deal or anything, but it seemed like in instances... Oh, it causes the thing to come down. That makes sense. In instances where there's those pull chains, I've noticed that I'm actually able to activate them from a distance probably a bit longer than was intended. So, like, from here. I don't know if that really matters at all. Like, in this case it doesn't, but maybe there would be an instance later on where that could be a problem. One would think, you know, given that you're sort of bound by the reach of your umbrella handle, that would be shorter. But, you know, again, it's a game. Not super relevant. Just nitpicking. Honestly, that's all I can do in this case, because I'm loving this experience. It's really quite lovely. It's really refined and elegant, and, you know, it's more than I would have expected, given that I had no knowledge of what this was going to be prior to it existing, or prior to me trying it. Wow. So, I lit up that big number 7, and the whole thing is now risen. Oh, man. Move set. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So we're going to have to actually light that, then walk along with it, and then use our umbrella to create a path for the flame to go under. No! Okay. Oh, I put it out by accident. One more time. I don't know why I'm having trouble causing her to stand where I want. I just need to kind of point and click. It's really not that complicated. So that's going to light up that whole thing. So now I should be able to walk through, and what am I going to discover on the other side? Oh, this looks like a coal pit, maybe? Okay, it looks like I've got 2 out of 3 logs. Why am I missing one? Didn't I pick up 3? I thought there were 3 there. And those are down. Oh, there's one right there. So actually, we're probably good. Oh, maybe I used a log on every fire that I lit? That could be it. Alright, so we've walked back across. Now let's pop all these in here. Light another. And that's... Okay, that causes those to rise. You'd think I would have understood that, but no. Up we go. This is so mysterious. I love this combination of, like, organic nature and fantasy at the same time. Oh. Okay, still can't use zip lines, though, so I guess I'll just jump down onto that mushroom. Maybe that's how I get back up later. And maybe that's how I do it, is with that note. Let's see if there's... Yep, another fire right here. Sit down, read. The symbology of using bonfires for things just seems to be so prevalent lately. Alright, so now we have the zipline ability. Let's stand back up. Seems like we're going to have to go a long way to use that again. Oh, alright, that's not exactly how I expected that to work, but, I mean, I guess it kind of had to in that instance. Not really sure how you would climb up that without actually doing, you know, hand over hand... just ascending it. Oh, the camera zoomed way out there. And it was just to show the floating monolith area, too. It's reminding me a little bit of the Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery game, too, which is a really lovely one. If you guys never checked that out, I highly recommend it. A little bit more complex as it goes to the point-and-click elements, but what's there is really cool. There was also an element to it that, like, required you to have to play it in real time, which I wasn't a massive fan of. I heard there were ways around it, I guess, but, like, when I was playing it, I never figured them out. So it's always kind of frustrating when you're really enjoying an experience and then the game's just like, hey, I know you're having fun, but, like, you have to stop now and wait and come back later. That's kind of what I feel about Animal Crossing most of the time. It gets frustrating because I'm having such a good time, and then it's just like, nope, you've done all the things. You have to stop. Alright, that was a long journey we went on to get back here. You know, I always really like it when they give you, like, an ability at the very end of a Metroidvania-style thing, and then the very first area you started in, where you had no idea what your abilities even would be, then there's, like, a thing for you to do right at the start. Sometimes, even if it's, like, an optional thing, it's even better that way, actually. It gives it sort of a feeling of circularity and completion. Oh, there's an owl! Oh, I'm so excited. What are you gonna say? Are you a real owl, or are you a stone owl? I can't even tell you. Look. Oh, my God. Okay, we've entered the dark realm of owls. I like them to be cool. This owl seems like a real creep, though. What about you, though? Are you gonna be nice? Or are you gonna also light up and be creepy? You know, the owls actually reminded me a lot of Kozo from... Oh, man. From Metroid. Actually, this whole thing is giving me a super huge Metroid vibe in a way that I wasn't expecting to feel. Alright, so we've entered, like, the highlands now, way up on top of this mountain. Guess I'll run a little bit more forward. Man, the art is so good in this. Oh, right, I forgot. Umbrella here. I don't know why I wouldn't have my umbrella up all the time. Oh, no! Oh, she lost her umbrella. That's actually really sad. It seems like such a silly thing, but, like, that's huge. That was the only protection she had, and now she's vulnerable and she can't go back. I wonder why the jets of rain cause her to, you know, explode and dissolve, but, like, the puddles don't. Maybe it's just full immersion or something like that. I love this little subtle wispy mouse cursor that they've given us, too. Fits in really well with this environment, and it stands out well, too. Oh, look at this artifact. This is now totally reminding me of Fez. Oh no, she collapsed. Is this my way out? Is this safety? Freaking lightning just struck it. What's going on here? Okay, it's like hypnotizing me a little bit. The suspense has been established. Alright, and that's gonna be it, actually. The game chose to take that moment to just drop off to the desktop. I hate when that happens. I was so into figuring out what was gonna happen next, I was hoping there was more, but honestly, the game was longer than I expected it to be. Given how it started, I figured this would be a very compact experience, but it turned out that landscape was actually quite large. Well, you know, comparatively, when it comes to a lot of games that are sort of designed for short-form play. But that was a really lovely experience. I honestly just wish there was more. I would love to help kickstart something like this to become a full-fledged, like, Limbo-sized game, like a 2 to 3 hour experience, because between the art style, the audio production, the gentle kind of way that everything was introduced to you, the subtle nuance to everything being expressed, even down to the detail of the umbrella blowing away, and the sheer emotionality that went into that character, really was quite touching and surprising in how that all came out of nowhere. It just really grabbed me well. And even look at the logo. The logo is so refined. And I say this as someone who went to school for graphic design. I think that's beautiful. The whole thing. Anyway, I guess that's going to be it. I wish I could say more about Petracor, but obviously I'm giving it a huge endorsement here. If you guys want to go check it out yourselves, there will be a link, of course, in the description for this video. Highly encourage you guys to support the developers if you can. It's done for name your own price, so if you can give a few dollars, I would love it if you could. That would actually be really good. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly did. I had a lot of fun playing through this one, and I would absolutely love it if you guys could recommend this game to your friends, or, you know, just do what you can to let people know that it exists, because this is the kind of stuff that I'm out there looking for all the time, and it really ticked all the boxes for me that made me excited, so hopefully you guys felt the same way. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you did think about this one. If you had any other experiences as well, if you noticed anything that I missed during the playthrough of this, please do let me know in the comments there. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, because that does help the series out immensely. So this is going to be one of the last few as we end our journey to 1,000 episodes. I think we're around a week away. I have to add them up again, but we're getting very, very close. So I do want to thank you again for all your support on this series. It means the world to me that you guys are still here watching. And I hope you'll continue to watch on into the future, whether that's through Indie Impressions or any other videos that show up on the channel. So thank you everybody again for watching. New episodes will be up every single day, as always. So I will talk to you all then. Hope you have a fantastic night. Later.